Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Universal You. Today, we will be discussing the means by which our cosmic mother, the Nephilim, arrived here on planet Earth only but 430,000 to 450,000 years ago. All right, let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a bit about Nibiru's atmospheric problem. In the beginning of this series, I explained the orbit of Nibiru as being about 3,600 years. Keep that in mind. I'll put an image up just to help illustrate the point. Here we go. Nibiru had an atmospheric problem similar to what we're experiencing with the ozone layer here on Earth, although slightly different. You see, Nibiru's orbit takes the planet very far away from the sun, and they needed a way to keep the heat in the planet. They devised a means to do this by distributing large quantities of gold into their upper atmosphere. This resulted in light and heat reflection, which would ultimately sustain the planet. Now, they found out that Earth has large quantities of gold, and they planned a trip to Earth when Nibiru was closest to Earth in the most efficient trajectory. I'm going to talk about various forms of light speed travel. I speculate that immortality varies according to the Sephiroth in which it acquires. And the reason I'm stating this is because this occurred more than 400,000 years ago, at a point in which Nibiru's space travel capabilities weren't all that advanced. So they used rocket ships to launch themselves from Nibiru to Earth. Now, let me just say that this team was headed by 12 members, and 300 of the Nephilim stayed in orbit around Earth in a mothership, and 600 came to the planet Earth itself to dig for the gold. Now, the 600 that were to dig the gold was headed by a guy named Enel, Enil, Enel, and he was one of the 12 head members of this somewhat galactic expedition. All right. Now, I just want to say that they established their cities in present day, in the area of present day Iraq, but where they actually dug for the gold was in a valley in the southeast of Africa. Keep that in mind. I'm going to be coming back to that. All right. Now, what they would do is they would dig up large quantities of gold and send it off to Nibiru when it was closest, so every 3,600 years. Bear in mind the extensive lifespan of the average Nephilim, which we discussed in the previous video. All right. So they did this, digging up large quantities of gold and sending it to Nibiru every 3,600 years. They did this for a period of about 100,000 to 150,000 years. And eventually they got tired of it. And something very interesting happened called the Nephilim Rebellion. And I'm going to tell you more about that in the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope that you appreciate the new production design. My mom took the liberty of painting this very symbolic Genesis pattern for me. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video where we will be discussing the Nephilim Rebellion and the origin of the human race. Love yourselves.